Hello everyone, this is Marcel Enlightened. I want to welcome you to my channel and I hope you're all having an epic day. In this video, I would like to discuss building momentum to achieve success. I'm going to break down some of the factors that separate those who achieve what they want and those who do not. This video is intended to go alongside my previous video, How to Achieve Greatness. I recommend you check it out if you haven't done so already. I'll put the link down below in the description. So to begin, let us recognize that people are creatures of habit. For the most part, they will do the minimal necessary to achieve the desired results, and they'll repeat that behavior as long as it remains successful. That goes back all the way through evolution, being as that time and energy are finite resources, people wouldn't do more than what's necessary in order to survive. In other words, laziness is actually a survival mechanism. Now bring us forward into the modern era, and almost everything we do is artificial. Now what I mean by that is that a person's physical well-being, survival, ability to reproduce doesn't hinge on their ability to get that new promotion, or publishing their next novel, or getting an A on the test that they're trying to study for. Now, of course, relatively speaking, they do. Accomplishing those goals can allow success, financial wealth, stability, etc. But that is only based upon the social structures that we have established in society today. Someone could be a billionaire, and it's going to mean absolutely nothing the day society ends. Not to say that's anytime soon. The point I'm trying to get at is all of these concepts that we put on ourselves are not genetically derived. They're socially derived. They don't coincide with the inherent desire to eat, reproduce, and survive. The reason so many struggle with their own desires is because it goes against that natural wiring that everyone was born with. Now this could verge on the realm of a nature versus nurture argument, but let's just agree that attaining that new promotion at work and spending the countless hours trying to impress the boss doesn't directly translate to a body and its ability to function, and would require a bit of a psychological jump to coax oneself into doing so. Let's bring this into perspective. On a daily basis, people convince themselves that they should do things that there isn't an obvious benefit for to their physical and reproductive fitness, using a biology term there for a moment. Counterbalance that with the natural desire to do as little as possible if it doesn't directly assist with physiological functions, and you're left with a heap of very confused mammals. Couple that with the fact that some, if not most societies in this modern world have an abundance of unhealthy, addictive substances and foods available that take advantage of those primal urges residually left over from evolution. Think stimulants, junk food, artificial social interactions like Facebook. It's a very tempting and accessible means to quench those urges. Now that we're starting to develop a picture of where I'm going with this, I'm going to explain how to hijack that system, those psychological processes, and twist them to a person's advantage. My instructor in school taught me something that I've never forgotten. He said to me when I asked him one day how to become an expert at something, and he told me it doesn't matter what you're trying to do, if you want to be an expert at it, you need to do it 1,000 times. Now the idea of that up front is daunting, to think of doing something 1,000 times. But it's true. No matter what you want, some task, whatever it may be, if you did it 1,000 times, you'd become an expert at it. You'd become a pro because of repetition, muscle memory. The human mind is a finely tuned instrument of precision, but it has to be honed. It is not instantaneous. You see, when something is performed, it creates synapses in the brain, mental pathways that allow the person to understand what's been done and be able to repeat it in the future. It's learning something. But every time that task is repeated, those connections become stronger, more intricate, like branches in a tree reaching out and touching those memories of the experience. They become thicker and more robust every time that activity is performed. Now, considering that the mind is just like any other part of the body, it has to grow, it has to recover from injury or from excessive work, it would make sense that these pathways can't be instantly created, nor can they reach their greatest potential overnight. Mental strength is established the same way physical strength is, in that it takes dedication and time with consistency. A person cramming hard right before a test makes about as much sense as a bodybuilder breaking their body down right before a competition. The mind is an organ, it has to recover. So let's go over some things that can be done in daily life that are going to make a huge impact in whatever goal or ambition a person has. The first three things that make for an excellent start, and these are in order of importance. The first is diet. Eat something healthy every day, especially breakfast. And I know some of you might be rolling your eyes at me already, but you'd be amazed at how many people eat garbage and wonder why they feel like crap all the time. One vicious cycle a lot of people get stuck in is the caffeine loop. Caffeine is an appetite suppressant. It's why they put it in diet pills. So people start drinking caffeine, which means they don't get the nutrients they need to have any energy. So they get tired and they drink more caffeine, which makes them less hungry. Before they know it, they're getting 1,000 milligrams of caffeine a day. Second thing a person should do, if at all possible, is get a full night's rest. If somebody doesn't get any sleep, they might have more time to accomplish a project, but the quality of their work is going to drop and the speed in which they're able to do it will also go down. So they might have gotten more done on a full night's rest than they would have by staying up all night to work on it in the first place. The third thing is to exercise. Now, you can't do that properly until you've done the preceding two, so that's why I put it last. By exercising daily, a person will have more energy and be able to focus better on the things that they want to do. Now, I'm not a doctor, but I do have a great deal of experience. If there's a desire from my viewers, I can go into more detail with those topics if requested. The point is that a healthy body is what allows a healthy mind, and that is paramount for success. Another struggle that a great deal of people have comes down to time management. I am guilty of that one myself. A way to correct it is to sit down every morning for a few minutes and plan out the course of the day. Go over the things that need to be accomplished, and the ones that are the most difficult or the most irritating that normally get put off, complete them first. This allows for more things to be completed, and the quality of what gets done should go up because it's done in the morning where the average person has the most energy. It's also likely to go faster because it becomes a reward to get to relax after the job is completed. So in regards to those mental pathways we were talking about earlier, and how it integrates with people being habitual creatures, it is possible to develop and encourage desired habits in oneself while reducing the presence of undesirable habits. Toothbrushing would be an example of a good one, and smoking would be an example of a less desirable one. Actions like that in both cases do become repetitive and habitual in nature, even disregarding the rewards or costs of either. Muscle memory kicks in and it becomes second nature. Realizing that, it is possible to reprogram the mind to think of anything that has to be a task that's done each and every day. Sitting down and doing a few math problems every single night, for example, is an excellent way to prepare for a test as opposed to cramming beforehand. Now, everyone knows that you should study for a test, but most of us don't sit down and think how the act of actually forcing some homework to get done consistently with as few a days off as possible plays a role in that and becomes habitual. Keep in mind we're talking small amounts here, not several hours. Here's another. Saving money out of every paycheck is easy to adapt to as long as it's not that much and can add up really quickly. Is this all starting to sound a little bit familiar? Small changes incorporated into the course of a day have a far greater impact on a lifetime than huge things that fade away quickly. The secret to any great accomplishment boils down to consistency. Becoming successful is less like trying to drive up the side of a rocky mountain and more like operating a train. The tracks have to be laid out first, so it's known exactly where the train will go. It always starts off slowly, but once it builds up momentum, it's almost unstoppable. Now finally, once a plan is established and confirmed, put into motion, it is likely that there will be opposition. People don't like change, especially if it affects someone that they know that they've grown accustomed to behaving a certain way. If you put your hard work and energy into creating a plan and you incorporate it into your life, don't let other people talk you down. Peer pressure can be a very destructive thing, but in the end, any friend or loved one that wouldn't support you in something as important as your goals is not much of a friend at all. Especially when those changes are incorporated in gradually and there's plenty of time for people to acclimate to the differences. Alright, I hope this was all thought-provoking. If I didn't cover something I should have, let me know down below. If you want to hear more content like mine, like and subscribe. Always remember, time is finite, so make every day count.